Standing by, and what an active night last night, Dylan.
Yes, it's certainly. Well, quite an interesting day of weather here in central and eastern Kentucky on this Thursday for probably 85% of the viewing area. It's been great. It's felt like summer, but we've got that long-lasting supercell thunderstorm that is still moving across northeastern Kentucky. Now, the outflow here from that rain-cooled air with all the warm, moist air we've got here in the bluegrass has helped this cell to develop just south of Frenchburg. And you see a little bit of pink in there, so wouldn't be surprised if we see some hail with that, just tracking it off to the east here, looking at over toward western Morgan County coming up here in the short term. But farther to the northeast, this is the cell that we have been watching. And again, our skit marker here, which is our storm identification and tracking system, where you see the black, that means some very large hail, and the algorithm is picking up on that. In fact, in the box here, you see 100% chance of hail, 90% chance of severe hail, upwards of golf ball sized hail, and the BTI, that's a scale of 1 to 10. The potential of a tornado, it's low. It's only 2.9. This thing is headed toward Grayson and eventually southern Boyd County, but it has lasted a very long time. I want to take you back to 145. This is southern Indiana. Here is northern Kentucky. This thing makes a beeline and drops a tornado right over Madison, Indiana, and Milton in northern Trimble County, right along the river, and you see the blinking purple. That means a confirmed tornado polygon. So that's what you'll expect to see. And the cylinder, that is a shear marker, meaning it's picking up on rotation. And also you see the gray cylinder. That is our debris tracker, which is debris aloft, which makes sense given that we had some damage and debris lofted from Madison and Milton. And then, of course, all that video that we had, and we'll continue to show you, it's floating all over social media around the Carrollton area. It skipped the river and continued to create some issues through parts of Owen County crossing I-75, and it is still ongoing across our northeastern counties. You see much of the area high and dry and just great out there. This cell developed on the tail end of a squall line of storms racing eastward. You look back to the west, Missouri, Illinois. Looks like the central part of the Ohio Valley has the best chance at seeing some organized severe weather later in the evening here in Lexington right now. About 79 degrees with our Hicks and Funson cam. South to southwest wind 15 to 20, so the breeze has been.
Let's check in with our chief meteorologist, TG Shuck, has been monitoring all these events for us minute by minute today. Very active weather day, TG.
Yeah, especially up north earlier this afternoon. It's been relatively quiet much of the day and this evening, but that is changing as we speak. You see here on our Viper radar, we've got thunderstorms that are really ramping up in a hurry. Much of the activity has been off to our west and to our north, but that is changing as we speak here. You can see the several severe thunderstorm warnings back into southern Indiana. Here's Louisville, a lot of lightning. And we've got a cell here, a few cluster of those that have developed just off to the north of Lexington. In fact, severe thunderstorm warning for the northern part of Owen County until 11:30, for Grant County until 11:30 as well. These that are out ahead of the main line, these primarily have the potential of producing some large hail. Our SCITS storm cell intensity and tracking tool showing the potential about a 60% chance of some severe hail, ironically, with this cell that is over Carroll County, the same area, unfortunately, that saw the tornado earlier. That cell just off to the southeast of Madison, but essentially just running right over the same area that we had the problems a little bit earlier. Now, let's take you back 6 hours and notice here along the I-70 corridor, look at this stuff just light up. A number of severe thunderstorm and tornado warnings. And of course, everything is creeping a little bit closer to the bluegrass. What's happening, in fact, is with all that warm, moist air out ahead of it, we're getting some individual cells trying to develop into a line out ahead of the main action that's coming into southern Indiana and western Kentucky. Tornado watch now out until 4 a.m. It includes Lexington, down I-64, both ways and up to the north. Richmond south, you're not in it, but obviously something we'll have to monitor during the overnight hours, even with a low-end threat, level 1. Damaging winds, a primary threat, isolated large hail, and there is that low-end tornado threat, thus the watch that we've got. Downtown Somerset, southern Kentucky, how about 66? Super duper mild. A good bit of warm, moist air still being pushed up from the Gulf of Mexico. So that's why we're in the upper 60s and low 70s. Tonight, of course, heading into the overnight hours, you'll definitely want to have a way to be woken up if we do, in fact, see any warnings here in the area. Keep those cell phones on. If you got a NOAA weather radio, keep that on alert mode as well. We'll be out of the woods with this as we head into tomorrow afternoon and a decent weekend to come. More on that in just a few minutes.